All right, class, so we are going to start by reviewing some of our words that we'll have on our quiz on Thursday. All right, the first things we want to review are contractions. Take a second to try and remember what a contraction is. What is a contraction? Does anyone remember? Oh, okay, most of us don't, so let's make sure we're paying attention today. When something contracts, it shortens. So contraction is when we take two words and we shorten them. We make them into one word, but we always have to replace what we've taken out with that little punctuation mark that looks like this, like a comma coming down from the top baseline. Do you remember what we call this?
Apostrophe.
Good, that's our apostrophe. All right, so all the contractions that we're going to practice, every contraction needs an apostrophe. All right, so our first contraction is we're. What's the contraction? We're. All right, and that is a contraction of we are. All right, so we are, and we make it into we're. All right, so what sounds do we hear in we're? Okay, that's our whole first word. Nothing's coming out of the first word. How about, all right, what's next? All right, and then we have that, remember in R, we've got that silent final E. So we're going to keep that. So we have we, then we'll need our apostrophe, and then R and our E. All right, go ahead and write the contraction we're. Say the sounds while you're writing it. Even though it's a contraction and contractions are a little funny, we should be saying the sounds while we're writing them. All right, class, so what two? All right, pencils down when you're finished. You need to hurry up and finish. All right, class, what two words do we make our contraction we're out of?
We are.
We are. All right, so these are our words. We are. There are two separate words. The contraction, we make it into one word. What's our contraction for we are?
We're.
We're. So we need everything in our first word. Then our apostrophe, where this gets taken out. And then the rest of our word. If your contraction doesn't look like this, make it look like that. If you left out the apostrophe, I want you to cross it out and rewrite the whole thing. Okay? Because without that apostrophe, it's a totally different word. It's were. All right, class, what's the contraction we just wrote? We're. All right. I probably took this too fast. It's been a while since we've done it because I saw a lot of us fixing it. So our next contraction, we'll go ahead and write the two words first and then the contraction. So the two words for our next contraction are you and are. So just write those words first. You are, two separate words. Thank you. If you're saying the sounds while you write them. All right, I'm just noticing one thing. I'm not sure if everyone's doing this. Class, when we're writing, we always start at this edge and we write in the direction we read and write till our first line's full. All right, then we go down to the second line. If you're still working, keep working, okay, because we need to be ready in about 10 seconds. Then we go down to the next line and we write in the direction we read and write that whole line, okay? If I'm walking around and you're just writing things wherever you want on the paper, I can't see if you've done the work and if it's right or not. All right, and also, that's not the way we ever write in English. We always start here, go in the direction we read and write, and use all our space. So if you weren't doing that, I know you're going to start doing it now. All right, class, what are the 2 words that you just wrote?
You are.
You are. All right, class, what is the contraction for you are? Your. Okay. So we talked about this. When we are making contractions with are, we always take out this. Oh, I don't want us writing. Sorry, unless you need to fix you are. Let's not be writing right now. Thank you. Okay. When we're making contractions with are, it's always this that we take out. So for your, once again, we're going to take this out, replace it with an apostrophe. Go ahead and write the contraction for you are, which is your. Thank you. If you're saying the sound, so you're writing it. All right, if there's anything we need to fix, we need to be crossing out. You want to tell us again, or I will take our erasers away, and I don't really want to waste time doing that. All right, as soon as you have that contraction, your pencil's down. All right, and if we're writing, we need to be saying the sounds while we write them. Did you do what I asked you to do? This is spelled, stop, this is spelled incorrectly because you weren't listening. And this is still incorrect. This is were, it's not we are. You see that? Look, mine has an apostrophe. Class, again, if we leave out the apostrophe, what would our word be? Were. Okay, a lot of times with contractions, if we leave it out, it's a different word. So our sentence is not going to make sense. So class, which letter did we take out of this? We took this out. So it's just like what we have, except that it's one word. Replacing that with an apostrophe. All right, if yours doesn't look like this, fix it and say the sounds while you're fixing it. I don't want to see pencils moving in their places. All right, class, what is our contraction for you are? Your. Okay. Our next 2 words are they are. What 2 words are you going to write?
They are.
Good. They are. Say the sounds while you write them. As soon as you're finished with that, put your pencil down. All right, I don't want you to tell me yet. I want you to take a second to think about it. It's a phonogram we practiced on our cards this morning. Which A do we use in they? Don't say it yet. Try and remember. All right, class, which A do we use in they?
A that we do use at the end of English words.
All right, we use that word all the time. That's one that I know you learned it last year. Hopefully you really have that one memorized. If not, gotta work on remembering we use AE. They are. All right, if you need to fix those words, go ahead and fix it. Say the sounds while you're writing them. All right, when you're finished with that, your pencil's down. And again, I don't want to see pencils moving if you're not talking. That's not good. Class, what's the contraction for they are?
There.
There. Okay. So once again, when we're making a contraction that has are in it, we're going to take this out. What are we going to replace it with?
Apostrophe.
Good. We're going to replace it with our little apostrophe. So write the contraction for they are, which is there. All right, as soon as we're finished, pencils are down. And if pencils are moving, our voices should be on. All right, class, what's our contraction for they are?
There.
Good, we say there. We're replacing this with our apostrophe, and it's all one word, so we shouldn't have any big spaces. All right, make sure your contraction looks like this, including the apostrophe. All right, quickly, let's read our contractions. So what's this contraction?
We're.
And what words does it come from?
We are.
How about this one?
You're.
And it comes from?
You are.
And this one?
There.
And it comes from?
They are.
Okay, the last word we're going to review for right now is nation. Class, nation is a two-way word. How do we say nation to spell it?
Nation.
Good, nation. Our first syllable, don't write yet. Our first syllable is an open syllable. That should let us know what to use. What sh do we use in nation?
Small letters used at the beginning of syllables after the first one.
Good, write the sounds, or say the sounds while you write them in nation. Mark it when you're finished. All right, after you've written and marked it, oh, I don't want to see us writing and hear nothing coming out of our mouths. All right, pencils down when we're finished. Class, if it's the middle, let's see. If my second syllable is Sean, could I ever use this? Don't shout it out. Take a second to think about it. If my second syllable is Sean, could I ever use this? Why not? Wait, let's say the whole name of this phonogram. That's going to tell us. You said the beginning of a word. Oh, let's start over again. You said the beginning of a word or the end of a syllable, but never the beginning of a syllable after the first one, except for the ending ship. That's why I want you to know the whole name for this, because I don't want to see us using this if our second syllable is Sean. The only way we could ever use this at the beginning of a syllable that's not the beginning of a word is if we're writing the word friendship or leadership. All right, if it's Sean or anything else, it can never be this. Okay. So class, what's our first syllable?
Nay.
Nay. What kind of syllable is it?
Open.
All right, and again, I want us to know if we say an open syllable, we know it's that single vowel. All right, we don't have to ask which A. This is the only A that we could say we have an open syllable with. What's our second syllable?
Sean.
Sean. And which sh did we use?
Tall letters used at the beginning of syllables after the first one.
Good. Remember, anytime, I'm pretty sure, at least so far, anytime that we've had a Sean ending, it's always tall letters. All right, the first thing I need to mark is what? My open syllable, because my vowel is saying its name. What else?
Tall letters used at the beginning of syllables after the first one.
And what gets my thinking cap?
Ooh.
Good, because we say nation when we're talking, we say nation. If you need to fix it, say the sounds while you're fixing it. All right, thank you those of you who I hear saying the sounds while you're fixing it. All right, as soon as you're finished with that, your pencils are down. All right, we're going to quickly review the phonograms we wrote this morning, and then we're going to write at least one sentence. Eyes up here, and pencils are down.
That we do not use at the end of English words.
Good,
Word. 2-letter word.
good.
Ship. 3-letter ship. Used only after a single vowel that says or Tall letters used at the beginning of syllables after the first one. That we do use at the end of English words.
All right, good. We're going to write a sentence. So remember, I'm going to say it 2 times. I'm going to have you say it to me, and only after that should you pick up your pencil. Before we do that, though, let's quickly review what are the 5 things we need to have for a complete sentence. What's first?
Subject.
Good, which is who or what the sentence is about. So I'm going to, next week, when you say subject, I'm going to say which is, and I want you to be able to say who or what the sentence is about. All right, subject. What's next? Predicate. That's our verb or what happens. All right, what's next? It needs to make.
Sentence.
Start with a
Capital letter.
and finish with an.
Underline.
And I like to say end mark because this is a punctuation mark. But if you put this at the end of your sentence, is it complete?
No.
No. So that's why I like to say end mark. Okay. All right, our sentence, I think we have a contraction there. You're being a good example. All right, try and make a picture of that in your mind so you can remember it. You're being a good example. I'll say it one more time because that one's longer than some of the other ones we've done. You're being a good example. Class, what's our sentence?
You're being a good example.
All right, after you write it, put your pencil down, read it, and check it.